September's Passion says, did your wife just want to be friends with you at first before being your girlfriend? She most definitely did. My wife, like I said previously, is a woman that really knew her worth, that really knew who she was, and she wasn't a time waster. And so I remember when she first came to my Bible study, that's when the part when I stuttered. I was like, man, she was just so beautiful, caught me off guard, blamed it on the devil, started my message over, got to preaching. Then after I got to preaching, I got to reaching, and I was like, wanting to reach out, but I wasn't able to reach out the first time. The second time she came to my Bible study, I knew, fellas. At that time, I knew, okay, whatever I did to get her to come the second time, I have an open window. I have enough in this situation to be able to riz her, like the young people say, or pull her, like we used to say, right? So when she came the second time, me and my lying self said that I'm gonna give her a book, and I lied and said I typically give first time guests a free copy of my book. Never did that. I mean, I probably did it 1 or 2 times, but that wasn't a policy at Unplug. Unplug was a Bible study I did for about 10 years, and that's where she was invited to hear me speak and to be a part of a community. And so I lied and was like, you know what, I'm gonna give you a free copy of my book. I was like, you never met an author before. When was the last time you met someone 20 something, out here writing books and stuff? And so I try to use that to gain an advantage. And then I asked her at that point, is it okay if I get your number? My wife pulls her phone out, and I just knew. So I said, oh, the phone coming out. I got her. We good. She puts the phone back in her pocket and was like, not right now. And she boots out the door. And it's raining, so I was going to help her out. She grabbed her umbrella and was gone. And what I realized about that, and people don't even know, I stayed in that building for 2 hours after my Bible study, perplexed, asking all kind of questions to those who stayed with. My sisters was there. A couple of the people that was volunteers with me was there. And I was like, man, this woman is different. And so when as time progressed, it took us about a good year before we really became boyfriend and girlfriend. My wife was very serious about why I was so curious, and she created boundaries. She said, if you want to talk to me, you got to meet me after my class, because she was in graduate school at the time. She's like, if you want to meet with me, because I was asking her as we got closer with each other. She invited me to our cookout with her family that 4th of July. Things began to bubble, but she was kind of slow with it. And she was saying, if you really want to spend time with me, meet me in the parking deck after my graduate class. And what I loved about that is that she put her purpose before my pursuit of her. She knew I was pursuing her, but she didn't let my pursuit of her to cause her to lose sight on what she's pursuing. And I think women have to understand that's a principle. When a man is pursuing you, keep pursuing you. Sometimes women get lost in the pursuit of the man. They forget to pursue themselves, because you can't allow this man to shift your world, and all of a sudden now you invested in his world, and your world is coming and crumbling in your face. And so it took us about a year before we became official in talking and becoming boyfriend and girlfriend. But she definitely wanted to be friends, because let me tell you something about friendship. Most people want to cultivate a relationship before they cultivate a friendship. See, relationship or friendship is the foundation of relationship. That's why Jesus said, I no longer call you servants, I call you friends, because he understood that friendship is the foundation of our relationships. And a lot of people, they don't create enough time for friendship to develop, and they jump right into relationship before boarding and not boarding the friendship. The ship that you need to board first before you even get off the boat and want to board another ship called relationship is friendship. And how do you cultivate friendship? First off, you got to have a strong friendship with God. You and God got to be solid. Because if you and God not solid, your discernment won't be solid, your perspectives won't be solid, your focus won't be solid. The second friendship you must cultivate is your friendship with yourself. When you're friends with you, you'll begin to really audit individuals. You'll begin to take the time to discern individuals, because those who don't love themselves let people in too quickly. Those who love themselves audit people immediately. And so when you friends with God, that will then cultivate your self-worth. And then you and God will be so tight that it doesn't matter if wrong or right is in front of you. You're going to investigate them through and through. Then when you're friends with yourself, you'll begin to understand the value of your time, the value of your goals, the value of your pursuits. And when you begin to have value those different things, then you're not going to rush romantically You're not going to rush relationally. You're going to be able to say, can you be my friend? Now, before you create friendship with the opposite sex, it has to be clear by God that's your next. You see what I'm saying? Because God ain't here to waste time. He doesn't want your next to become an ex. He wants your next to be your forever. And so you got to make sure that those two friendships are so solid so that when you get with somebody, you don't rush into intimacy. You don't rush. I'm not talking about intimacy as just physical or sexual. I'm talking about you want, like my wife and I, we weren't on the phone that much early on. She was in school and I was doing ministry. But what that did was it kept us curious about the individual and not about the desperate desire for marriage. And so we took a long time before we really got to that state in courtship where it got very solid. And so I just think friendship is important because you need friendship in marriage. You just, because sometimes the romance fades. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes the passion fades. And if you don't have a friend that will stick with you through the end, then my friend, there's no need to begin. Hope to help.